So today I have got an update on the Royally Screwed series. The Royal Mint have given me a statement in relation to that investigation that I'm doing on the really poor value for money products. And it's not good. So let's dive in and have a look at what they've got to say in defense of some of their ridiculous price points on historic coins. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another Precious Metal Ramble. We've got another update on the Royally Screwed investigation I'm doing into the historic coin pricing and exceptionally poor value for money that I and many others perceive are damaging the Royal Mint's reputation. Now, if you're new to this little series of videos, I've done plenty in the past. I'll do a very brief recap. I'm holding the Royal Mint to account. I wanted to push back on them to get some idea of what they're thinking and how they're acting for some of these exceptionally poor value products that they're putting out. Prime example being this Victoria Young Head Crown, which is still argued to be fine by the Royal Mint, priced at £270. Absolute, complete overvaluation by a country mile, as I've had it valued at about £25 by Sovereign Rarities, who are part owned by the Royal Mint and recommended as a valuation partner. Anyway, I have been pushing back on the Royal Mint. That's the update, that's the recap. And I have got now some more information to share with you. They have come out with a formal statement in reply to our phone call that we had last week. So I had a call with 4 people. I've done a video last week sharing some of the feedback from that call where they talked about a whole bunch of different points that I wanted to address. And there was some good, there was some bad, there was some wishy-washy stuff in there. But I had a bit of optimism. The statement that you can see here in front of us, which we'll read through in just a moment, is not addressing a lot of the points that I wanted. And I feel like we need to push back again to the Royal Mint. We need to say this is just not good enough. I'm going to continue with this little investigation. I'm actually putting together a really long sort of journalistic documentary style video. I'm going to try my best to do it as well as I can. I don't know exactly when it will be out, within the next few weeks I would think. It's going to be a long one, 30, 40, 50 minutes. It could be even an hour, I don't know. But it's going to be showcasing all of the things that I have observed that are bad, that are damaging the Royal Mint's brand. And I don't like the fact that the Royal Mint's brand is being taken in a direction which is really, really not great in my opinion, just because of profit making. More on that to come as we go through that big journalistic documentary video. That will come in due course. So subscribe if you're not already, if you want to see a sort of conclusion to this. For now, though, we're going to go through this formal statement, and I want to know what you guys think. This is part of this whole thing is about the community, about giving the feedback to the Royal Mint so they understand that it's not okay, that there is a reputational stake in this for them that they can't ignore. So, here's the statement. Firstly, we would like to thank you for bringing these issues to our attention. We understand the concerns raised and welcome the opportunity to address them directly. The Royal Mint strives to provide customers with premium products and services, and we would like to reiterate that we take all customer feedback seriously. We have a responsibility to ensure that we provide our customers with quality, authentic coins from reputable dealers. As such, our pricing reflects a variety of factors, not limited to, but including rarity, condition, their historical significance, demand and grading, as well as packaging and presentation. Before establishing a retail price, the Royal Mint carefully reviews price guides and market trends. As we source our historic coins in large volumes to ensure that we can make enough available for customers on the website, our pricing model is quite different to dealers selling small volumes or one-off pieces. We are unable to compare or offer comment on valuations provided by external sources. With regards to specific issues raised with products such as the Young Head Victoria Crown, we have taken this feedback and we are working to ensure that our website imagery is a more accurate representation of products available. We always want our customers to make informed decisions before purchasing. We are always working to review and enhance our historic coin offering, and we are taking your feedback on board. As a trusted brand, we acknowledge that there may have been instances where where we have fallen short of meeting our customers' expectations. However, we would like to reassure you that we are committed to improving customers' experiences. So there's a lot to unpack in this comment, and a lot of the people on the Soul Forum, I published it on there last Wednesday, have already been sharing a lot of their thoughts, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of, it's not great. This hasn't gone a long way to explaining pretty much anything that was discussed in the phone call, quite frankly. I was expecting more, and we even, at the end of the phone call, sort of talked about in the call itself. So not just like a wishy-washy, quick email, just actual talk in the call. What do I want from this? Me, as Backyard Bullion, to share. And it seems like none of the things that I asked for in there, which they said should be fine, are included in this. An example would be the flagship of the world coin set. I have talked about this set so many times in the past. I don't know if this is the right thing, because they've taken it down, I think. Let's see if we can find it. Basically, they admitted that it was a complete flop. They got it wrong. Let's see if we can find it through this. And yeah, so they're here. If we click on it, it'll just take us to 404 page not found. They've got rid of this set because it was exceptionally poor, and they admitted that in the call. They said they got it completely wrong. They missed the mark with it, and it's now been withdrawn. There's no mention of that they got it wrong there, that they absolutely got that price completely wrong. And, it says here the Royal Mint carefully reviews price guides and market trends. They completely didn't when it comes to that flagship of the world coins. You can't see it now. This was priced at £495, £82.50 a coin. This was priced at, I can't remember the exact price point, but it was I think it was nearly £20,000. It was awful, absolutely awful pricing points. And, to have that and to have coins like this priced at £270, it just tells me that they don't do this. In the call, I have here a copy of my agenda notes. This is what I sent to the Royal Mint. This is what we worked to on the call itself on the day. And I'm not going to read all of these with all detail because they're quite lengthy. As you can see, we've got quite a lot in here to unpack. But again, they haven't addressed any of the particular points. I put goals in place for each of these talking points. We wanted 10 to 15 minutes per section. There were 4 sections with a sort of goal at the end talking about, publishable statement addressing the opinions above of how this coin was valued at £270 when it was also valued by Sovereign Rarities, who are their referred partner for historic coin valuation services, at £25. How do you get from £25 to £270? Absolutely crazy. And the fact that they defended it was conditioned as fine. If we look here again, this is not a fine coin, in my opinion. Okay, coin grading is subjective, but this is not fine. But hey, it is what it is. They referenced in the call that they take on board market trends and research the coins. I find it very difficult to believe that they did that for something like the flagship coins of the World Series, charging £82.50 per silver ounce. Absolutely ridiculous. So again, there were other particular coin sets, like the 3 coin set for the Great Engravers coin that came out recently. That one, you could buy the individuals in there for £35 to £50 on the open market. The equivalent price of those coins was over £300 in that coin set. And I wanted, again, to get an idea of how that was valued and how their perceived value is way below what it really is in the open market. Again, no addressing of that in there. From the in-house experts' point of view, I got an initial reply from the press office saying, for historic coins we've sourced, the pricing reflects a variety of factors, which is pretty much verbatim what they've come back with in the other publishable statement that they've just made. And when I got that original statement, I pushed back on them because that wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to know how those valuations were made, explanations of quantifiable data, research, price comparisons. All they could really say was, we compare the prices, we look at the Spink guide. That's pretty much all they said. They also said they would completely disregard eBay as any kind of reference point for price pointing. I countered by saying that's actually a really good market rate sort of valuation tool when you look at those things. They disagreed because they said it is for one-off coins where people can get bargains and good deals. And when they source coins for sets like this, where there would be, I think they said there were like 999 of these available, 499 of these available, something like that. They said when they buy in bulk, it costs them more to buy in bulk. No, and when we look at their formal statement here, it says we source our historic coins in large volumes to ensure we can make enough available for customers. And it says our pricing model is quite different. They were telling me and trying to explain to me in the call that when they buy these things in bulk, it costs them more money per unit item than it would if they went out and sourced them individually. How does that work? That's not good business. That's not how business works. You buy in bulk, you get discounts. That's how it works. So there's one of two things happening there. The Royal Mint are just getting completely ripped off by their own suppliers, or they're clueless to the actual real way the world works, I guess. Or they're lying. I'm not going to accuse them flat out of lying, but there is an option for that they're not telling me the full truth about this particular thing. I don't know. And I'm looking there for, a an actual comment on the fact that there is a growing perception that the Royal Mint is profiteering on these coins from customers and consumers that don't have the knowledge to know that these historical products are poor value. And this sort of brings me on to the final point, which was about reputational damage and perceptions from customers and consumers, that there is this level now that they are being compared to these unscrupulous companies that will do anything and everything to get as much profit out of the poor unsuspecting punters out there on the market as possible. And I think that that's really, really poor behaviour. I think that's absolutely horrible. And a lot of the defence from the Royal Mint was that they have thousands of happy customers in their collector services and historic coin range. Great, I'm sure that you guys do, because they don't know better. That's the whole point here. And when people come back and share their bad experiences of finding out that the coins that they've spent an awful lot of money on are worth fractions of what they actually are paid for, then that's going to have a negative impact on the Royal Mint. People don't always go back to the Royal Mint and complain about it. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It could be future generations that experience these issues. And as you can see in this in this sort of section here, my main reason for starting this whole investigation is I'm deeply concerned for the reputation and good standing name of the Royal Mint. And, in their formal statement here, they say that they are a trusted brand, and therein lies part of the problem. They are a trusted brand. And when they put something up on their website and say, this is the price that we want for it, people who don't know better will take that on just face value. And I think that's just abysmal and horrible. And in my previous video that I was talking about, I said actions speak louder than words, but money speaks even louder than that. And unfortunately, that's where this comes down to. In my full sort of documentary style video that I will be doing in due course, I will be sharing some of the financials of the Royal Mint that I can find. I mean, you can just see here all of it. By the way, if you want a giggle, read this comment that Andrew SL76 put up. This is what I would say is the captain's subtext translation of that statement. Really very good. In fact, I'll leave that up on the screen so you guys can have a quick read while I talk about the next little bit, which was, I'm going to refresh my memory now, financials. So the collector services division made £3.6 million profit last financial year on these collector services coins. I would love to know what their turnover was to make that profit, because if it's, say, 5 million, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million, and they're making £3.6 million profit, that's quite alarming. That's a huge markup, a huge price markup. If it's like 50, 60 million, then sure, fine, that's an acceptable level of return, and maybe I'm completely wrong. But we're not going to get that information. We're looking at actually doing a freedom of information request to try and get that information, because the financials for the Royal Mint are made public through their annual reports, and they're on Companies House as well. But ultimately, we're not going to get that data, I think, because they're going to argue that it's sensitive commercial data that will give competitors an edge on them. It'll also highlight, in my opinion, quite how much they're making from the people who buy these coins unsuspectingly, which is, I think, a really sad thing. And ultimately, money is where it comes down to. And just, in fact, this week, we've seen a new set come out from the Royal Mint, the Monarch's Money Premium set. £8,000 for Morley coins. I did a little quick look around. You get that whole set for £4,000. So again, you pay £4,000 for a box. They're not going to change because they know that some poor sod out there will buy these coins at these prices. And you can see the reaction from various different people on the forum that this one is bat poo crazy. Yeah, so I said I think another Royally Screwed video is coming out soon. I think it's really sad. I shared here. This is again from the Royal Mint's annual report. This is how much the exec team, the board members, made last year. Anne Jessup pocketed £378,000 last year. I know she's a CEO and I know she does a lot of work, hard work. That seems like an awful lot of money, though. It does seem like an awful lot of money. We'll see. Anyway, freedom of information request will be maybe going in at some point. I don't know, but this is an interesting thing that Honest Money Gold Silver shared, that the from a previous freedom of information request to find out what their currency coin production costs were, and the Royal Mint basically summarising this whole big blurb here. The Royal Mint basically said we don't want to disclose it because it will give an advantage to our competitors. In my opinion, it will actually hold them to account as to basically how bad they are at what they do and how they really don't know quite a lot. But that's an opinion. The point here is that the Royal Mint are, I think, a little bit clueless as to where things are. If we head back to the statement page here, I just think they think everything is fine. And this statement here that we are looking at is basically telling me, well, we've heard what you've got to say. do your worst, make some more videos. This is our stance. There are people who buy it, so whatever. And the ultimate thing here is about that feedback, that reputation. And I think people will make their own mind up about it. I know I've made my own mind up about it. And I think it's awful. I think it's morally reprehensible to charge what they charge on some of these coin sets. When I was asked in the call if any of these represent good value in my mind, I just said no. Because they don't. None of their historic coins represent good value, and they're just making profit over profit on people who don't know better. I wouldn't have a problem with the Royal Mint making profit on these things if it was a bit more realistic. You know, making the margins, the perceived margins that they're making is just absurd and ridiculous. So, yeah. Anyway, I will be doing a follow-up, as I said, when I put together a whole sort of rendition of everything that I found out from the Royal Mint. But I think, unfortunately, it comes down to money. And it will continue to come down to money. And, you know, they're saying that they want to take their customers' feedback on board, but I don't think they really do. In fact, there was an interesting post that somebody else put up here. So this is basically some of the price changes. I don't have the old prices and new prices here, but they've apparently, in reply to a individual, here's the actual post. So he said that they have had further correspondence with the Royal Mint today after my annoyance with their pricing. So somebody else is taking up the cause, which is great. They've reduced the prices on a few of their stocks and sets, with new prices going live tomorrow. And this is what they sent him as to what is changing. And some of these are still absurdly high prices for what they are. When you go in and have a look at them, they really are just out there, willy-nilly, ridiculous price points. Like this is a prime example. So this coin, brand new from the Royal Mint, okay, this is a PF70 version, but brand new from the Royal Mint, this was about £10,000, 10,500 I think. So the Royal Mint have had it graded, and they think that just by having it graded, they can slap on an extra £3,000. And especially when you look at market trends for these coins right now, they're not getting anywhere near that. You'd be lucky to get 10 grand on a PF70 for that coin. So they just don't have a clue. They optimistically price it so that somebody comes along and buys it. Yeah, anyway. Right, Royal Mint, I'm not very happy with that statement that you put in. It just feels a bit wishy-washy. I haven't fed back that feedback to them yet. Quite frankly, I don't think it will do any good. Like, I can email back the press office and say it doesn't actually address any of the points that we talked about in our call, but I don't think they really care. That's the opinion I get from them. It's really sad, and it's really crap. So all I can do, I was never expecting to make change. I'll talk more about this in the final sort of video that I do. But I wasn't expecting them to completely stop the collector service division of historic coins. I was just expecting more, and they provided less. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I think it's a really sad state of affairs, and it's going to do irreparable damage to the Royal Mint's branding over a long period of time, which is going to hurt us all that have got coins from the Royal Mint. So yeah, anyway, right, that's my rant, my ramble, my update. Thank you all to the Backyard Bullion Ramblers for listening to the end. I want to know your thoughts. Like, if you're in the Cool Kids Club, you have probably vested interests like me to get this communicated out there. We can the very least we can do is, if we can't instill change in the Royal Mint, we can make sure that customers out there are making the best decisions we can. And if my videos save one poor person from making a really poor financial decision on very poor value products like these, then that's mission accomplished from my perspective. Will we have an overall effect on the Royal Mint's bottom line? No, because they just unfortunately have this trusted brand that they're going to continue to exploit to get as much profit as possible. So yes, anyway, that's it from me. Cool Kids Club, we love you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.